flower farms, earning a meager salary. At phase 1 of Kihoto Estate, which is worst hit by the unforgiving waters, we meet Hamisi Ondieki. He was among the handful who were left behind. He could not afford to move his family, but on this day, he has no option. The situation has turned from bad to worse.
Na familia yangu tunakaa hapo kwa ajili hatuna means ya kuenda mahali. Ni kuenda kuwekelea mawe kwa kitanda, tupate mahali ya kulala, kupikia, lazima tuweke jiko juu ya mawe ndio tupige chakula watoto wakule walale. Hata watoto hawaoni jua.
Hamisi has no clear plan on where to go from here.
Nikiangalia mtoto, nirudi niende kumalizia pipi, hata kukula sikuli. Mtoto akikuangalia na akikuongeleza ni machozi.
His dilemma is shared by several families here. Many have been left at the mercy of selfish landlords, taking advantage of the increasing demand for housing.
The rent have been hiked. You find that some landlords have tripled the rent within this area. It is so difficult. I have still some people still stuck within these waters.
Mimi mwenyewe sijapata nyumba. Na hata ndio hata kama napata ile pesa 6,000 sitaweza kulingana na mshahara ambayo tunaipata. Hiyo ni halfway my salary.
3/4 of the residential areas have been submerged, affecting more than 40,000 people. The county government of Nakuru has availed trucks to evacuate those who have found alternative shelter. Many families, however, are still stuck further down near the lake, with boats being the only means to access and relocate them.
The biggest challenge is those people who are like a kilometer away from here. There are people stuck there. They have no resources to move. They are not able to move. They have families. They have small kids as young as even 5-6 months.
We have been camping here for the last 2 weeks, all trying to address the challenge related to these waters so that the people's welfare will be taken care of.
With the flooded latrines and spread of raw sewer, there is fear of an outbreak of waterborne diseases, children being more at risk. Residents are calling for reinforcement from the national government to address the developing humanitarian crisis. The floods have stolen something too difficult to replace. A sense of community that residents of Kihoto once cherished has now been shattered. The silence is deafening as we try to navigate what was once a clear path to access homes, schools, churches, and even the shopping center, all now sinking slowly underwater. A return to normalcy for now remains uncertain. Safin Acheng Oma, Citizen TV from Kihoto, Naivasha, Nakuru County.
Safin, thank you for bringing us that story. President William Ruto has officially handed over the Amboseli National Park to Kajiado County government. The ceremony that brought together all instruments of management of the park also saw President William Ruto hand over all assets, inventory and rights to have Amboseli under the community's management. Stephen Little reports from Amboseli.
Songs and dances greeted President William Ruto as he arrived at the Kimana Gate in Amboseli to physically hand over the park back to the local community.
I, William Samuel Ruto, of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, do hereby ordain, declare, and direct that the management of Amboseli National Park is hereby vested in the county government of Kajiado.
The proclamation met with cheers from crowds who gathered to witness the historic occasion.
Today we are making history. Kwa sababu we are not only sorting out a quarrel among individuals. We are not only sorting out what became a community concern, but we are also sorting out what became a conservation challenge here in Amboseli. When the community here felt that they were being left behind, that they were being ignored, that they were not part of the action, there was a challenge to Amboseli.
The handover made according to the deed can only be reviewed after 15 years should either party file a complaint of compliance.
Because we know it took enormous courage, because the persuasion, the voices to the contrary, the resistance, both locally and internationally, required a man of deviance, a man who understood what historical injustice is.
Yala ambayo umefanya leo ni kubwa sana katika jamii yetu ya Kimasai.
Ile mtu yuko na Ruto kwa hii kura, ni mtu apendi sisi, ni mtu apendi Amboseli, ni mtu apendi wa Maasai.
President Ruto using the handover ceremony to endear himself to the Maa community who had gathered here from Samburu, Narok, Laikipia, Baringo, Kwale, Tanzania and Marsabit.
Na mimi, I want to give you my undertaking that I will support you. We will mobilize all the resources to make sure that we enforce and we protect that special plan for the benefit of the people of Kajiado.
Many communities were discriminated against the Constitution in all subsequent governments. And not only many communities, but Kenyans of all shades of life.
Nataka nikushukuru Mheshimiwa Rais kwa sababu umewahi kurejesha Amboseli mikononi mwa community ya Maa. Umepitia kwa njia zote, ulikalisha kikao cha cabinet, tukapitisha.
Eventually, after the full transfer of Amboseli National Park to the county government of Kajiado and the Kajiado community, the locals say the much-needed revenue will help in boosting development and even create more employment, with the Kajiado county government now targeting to collect about 1.5 billion shillings after a full transfer in the 2027-2028 financial year. Stephen Leto, Citizen TV, Kimana Gate, Amboseli.
Looking good there, Stephen Leto. Now, the National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula, has slammed the judiciary over what he terms as reckless court decisions impeding the development of the nation. Speaking at the 8th Kenya Private Sector Alliance Speakers Roundtable in Mombasa, Wetangula argued that court injunctions should be a last resort in judicial rulings and judgments, with the leader of the majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, revealing that the controversial Finance Bill of 2024 was recrafted and eventually passed by Parliament 6 months after it was withdrawn. Questions of good faith arising. Seth Olale has more.
In yet another onslaught against the judiciary by the parliamentary leadership, Speaker of the National Assembly Moses Wetangula accused the courts of slowing down development of the country through issuing injunctions without considering the consequences of such actions to international financial lenders and contractors.
This is perhaps a legislation that you as KEPSA brought to us to improve the way of doing business in Kenya. And the crowd who has gone to court does not even run a kiosk in the business world. He's simply a surrogate litigant for your competitors. And these are some of the problems we're having.
The National Assembly Speaker, while meeting members of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance during the 8th KEPSA Speakers Roundtable in Mombasa, said there is a need to have stakeholder engagement with the judiciary, which he said gave court injunctions too easily.
We need to have a roundtable with KEPSA, Parliament and Judiciary, so that they can also appreciate that injunctions are not cakes to be dished to everybody carrying a plate.
The business leaders called for an enabling environment and legislation for business.
If our infrastructure is not right, the ease of doing business won't happen. If our logistics are not right, if things are not working at the port of Mombasa, at our own airports, at our roads, you know, and our train.
Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, reviving the debate on the value and Parliament's role in passing the controversial Finance Bill 2024. Ichung'wah revealing that, though the bill was withdrawn after the Gen Z protests that culminated in the invasion of Parliament, it was recrafted and passed by the same House.
When we gave birth or consummated the Finance Bill of 2024, it became Parliament's. The private sector completely abandoned Parliament. Disinformation, misinformation killed the baby that we consummated together. It took Parliament again another 6 months of lost revenues, lost job opportunities for our young people in the country, to recraft the same finance bill into 4 different bills.
If you want to start a new industry, start it and we will defend and we will protect and we will give you incentives. But you cannot allow you to use Parliament to tax your competitors so they get out of business. It has happened. And we know each other.
Seth Olale, Citizen TV.
Residents of Makongeni have taken to the streets to protest a government eviction notice issued to clear the area for an affordable housing project. While they insist they are not opposed to the development, they accuse the government of going back on an earlier pledge that any relocation would be carried out in phases. Instead, they say they have been instructed to vacate their homes by December the 2nd, a deadline they argue is abrupt, and inconsiderate. The community also points to the famous Makongeni grounds, a local sporting hub credited with nurturing football stars, including Alpha Onyango, as part of the heritage now under threat. Citizen TV's Ben Kirui tells us more.
On any given day at the renowned Makongeni grounds, dozens of youth can be seen honing their football skills. Traditions that have shaped sports dreams and kept many engaged in meaningful activity. This heritage is now under threat. The government has earmarked the field for an affordable housing project, issuing residents with eviction notices to vacate the area to pave the way for construction.
Watoto wanatutegemea na kuna wengine ni maorphan. So wengine hata wanastay na manyanya zao hapa. After hiyo ni kama hii talent hatutaiprotect anymore. Watakuwa wameenda hivyo kama hii mtaa itakwenda hivyo, na hii mtaa ni kubwa sana, ni 141 acre.
Tunafurahia sana affordable house. Lakini kwa mtaa tulielewana waanze in phases. Hatukuelewana wabomoe yote. Tulielewana in phases. Tunashangaa saa hii tunaambiwa mtaa inaenda yote.
While the community maintains that it fully supports the development initiative, they say authorities had initially promised that any relocation will be conducted in phases. Instead, they were shocked to receive a notice instructing them to vacate by December 2nd this year.
In as much as we embrace affordable housing, we also welcome transparency. Contrariwise, we shall resist illegal and forceful eviction.
Affordable housing tujakata iko sawa, lakini wangeweka hiyo kitu phases to phases, phase 1, phase 2, hata kama itafika phase 20. Makongeni ni kubwa.
Residents under the railway's staff retirement benefit schemes in Makongeni were reportedly offered a relocation facilitation fee of 150,000 Kenya shillings, an amount they argue is far below what was earlier agreed upon and insufficient for resettlement.
Watu wamesema ni do ilikuwa inatoka 350,000. At the same time, saiko ground wanaongelea story ya 150,000. Which hata tuko sure kama itafika.
Wajenge mahali wapeleke watu wa Makongeni, alafu wajenge sehemu ile ilibaki. Sasa tunashangaa vitu imepindikwa mara moja.
Their plea is for the government to reconsider its approach and to ensure the project moves forward without affecting the lives and livelihoods of an entire community that has long called Makongeni home. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
All right, and with that report by Ben Curie, we take a break on Citizen Weekend. But when we come back, that conversation I promised on Sudan, the forgotten war, I'll be joined by Dr. Joseph Siegel, as well as Miriam Larusi, who is in Darfur. She is the MSF emergency coordinator there.
By going to a group like Africa Invest, which is backed by Boost Africa and European Investment Bank, we were able to find people that understood Africa risk. The growth that we've had in the last 3 years is going from 100,000 users to 1.6 million users active in the business, right? Something like $1.5 million of premium to $12 million of premium.
On Citizen TV for a story of transformation.
And we need 2 Royco cubes because iron gives you strength to skuma yourself to be the best you can be.
Try the new Royco Chili Cube for the perfect heat.
Mimi nasema ugali ya Lea haikuwangi complicated. Ukienda kwa duka tu, ukienda kwa super tu, kwa afya bora ya jamii ungapoa ni Lea tu.
Guys, was any wait?
Bei ya Lea Premium, si complicated. Kupika Lea Premium, si complicated. Unabai, unapika, unashiba. Lea Premium.
Lea Premium Flour, nurturing the world. Available in a store near you.
Experience the power of the ultimate glow in our new revitalizing formula. With 3 times more oil-infused serum, Vaseline Lotions penetrates and restores your skin's natural moisture from within, while boosting your natural glow on the outside. No need to add extra oils or glycerin. Feel the difference. See the power of the ultimate glow. New Vaseline Lotions.
We take risks from the moment we are born. Our first steps carried with them the fear of falling. But we knew the safe hands that protected us wouldn't let that happen. The first time we learned a new skill, we had the confidence to keep going because those safe hands were right beside us. And as our businesses grow to new heights, carrying with them greater risks, we continue to look for those safe hands. With Mayfair Insurance, you're always in safe hands. We provide security and protection to grow your business across countries in Africa, worry-free. Whether you are a startup, an SME, or a corporate, speak to Mayfair Insurance. We have been providing one-stop tailor-made, innovative insurance solutions to clients across multiple countries in Africa. Mayfair Insurance. You are in safe hands.
2 countries, 1 unforgettable adventure. Start in vibrant Singapore, where futuristic skyline light up the night gardens, glow into the city, and every street feels alive. Then cross into Malaysia, a land of rich culture, spice-filled markets, towering Petronas, skyscrapers, and moments of discovery at every turn. This is more than a holiday. It's 2 worlds, 1 journey. Enjoy 6 unforgettable nights with View Travel from only $2,150 per person sharing or $2,830 for a solo trip. Book today and enjoy the ease of Lipa Pole Pole. Call 0703 254 254 or visit viewtravel.com. View Travel. Dream, explore, discover.
Switch up your game. Open up to more fun, more adventure. Be bold. Be the unapologetic dreamer. Because you deserve more. Pepsi, thirsty for more.
Premium hata hii premium iko sawa. Kuna hii premium na kuna hiyo ingine original ndio nataka. Mbona hata mimi ananiconfuse? Nilitaka premium original na ni ya Kavagara.
Shush, usichukue ingine kama si ya Kavagara.
Aha, hivyo ndivyo kinaumana ukikosa original premium.
Nilitaka premium original na ni ya Kavagara. Kama huna unirudishie pesa yangu. Waumbirie wajue. Premium original ni ya Kavagara na hii ya ngano.
Raha Premium Kavagara, kwa raha ya familia.
All eyes on me.
Sasa ndio nyumbani kwa the best local dramas.
Nataka ripoti ya Hansi pamoja na mkewe.
Comedy za kuvunja mbavu. Telenovela bora zaidi kwa lugha yako.
Ana area ina prita. Tokendo kimara marewi imora.
Na sasa una nafasi ya kushinda zawadi nono ndani ya promotion kubwa ya Jipange na View Sasa. Jipange ushinde na View Sasa. Shinda 50,000 kila siku, $500,000 kila wiki na grand prize ya 2 million shillings.
Wow.
Ingia kwa View sasa hivi kwa kupitia paybill 724177 au tembelea viewsasa.com. Weka nambari yako ya simu kama akaunti yako. Kisha weka 50 bob tu na upate content na point na uende kama mshindi. Ingia mara nyingi uwezavyo. Kila ukiingia kwa View Sasa, unaongeza nafasi yako ya kushinda. Imeidhinishwa na BCLB number.
Thank you for staying with us on Citizen Weekend. And now we get into matters, the Sudan war. While there are many events that have led up to the present-day civil war in Sudan, I'll begin with the protests that led to Omar al-Bashir being deposed as president in a military coup after 30 years in power. Bashir himself having ascended to power through a military coup. His overthrow in April of 2019 was the result of protests over cuts to bread and fuel subsidies, a reflection on the state of the economy. A transitional military council took over, led by the Sudan Armed Forces Commander General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, and included the Rapid Support Forces, who were originally the Janjaweed militia that carried out genocide against non-Arab communities in Darfur. 4 months later, after persistent protests for a transition to civilian rule, a sovereignty council, including civilian members, was formed. But after a tumultuous 2 years, the military faction took back full control of the council, but the Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok was reinstated a month later following protests. Over 1.5 months later, Hamdok resigned, leaving the military and paramilitary forces wrestling for control. On April 15th of 2023, war broke out with Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces as the warring parties, and they differed over the question of integrating RSF into the National Armed Forces. According to the United Nations, 12 million people have been displaced since 2023, with the number of deaths reported in the thousands, tens of thousands, and possibly hundreds of thousands in the last 2 years. The recent widely reported massacre in El Fasher by RSF, the last SAF stronghold in Darfur, is estimated to have claimed 2,000 lives. All right, as I mentioned previously, we'll be joined by Dr. Joseph Siegel, who is the Senior Research Scholar and Security Studies.
That's the only word I can use to describe the situation.
Right now, we have indeed internet displaced people that are fleeing El Fasher to arrive in Tawila. First thing that I have to say is that they arrive in a state of malnutrition that is extremely high. They arrive often wounded also. Our ER in the hospital that we have in Tawila is overwhelmed by patients. We had to increase the capacity at a very high level because we could not cope with the number of wounded people arriving. We have reports of violence all through the way out from El Fasher to Tawila and also, of course, inside of El Fasher. We have reports also of sexual violence on the way out. People arriving here are fully traumatized. They are malnourished. They are wounded. This is what we're seeing right now in Tawila.
All right. And just how, you've probably given aid in a number of conflicts. How are you dealing with Sudan? It must take a mental toll on you.
On all of us, but mainly also on our colleagues that are here, Sudanese, that have family inside of El Fasher and still are there inside the hospital and all over Darfur, keep on supporting the project, keep on supporting our patient. So the toll is really on all of us. Everything that we know about El Fasher, we know it from all these people that are able to flee directly. We cannot really have contact inside of El Fasher because all the communication are down. And the testimonies that are coming they're extremely hard. They're hard, they're painful to hear. And now these people that are here inside of Tawila, they don't receive the support that they should receive. Tawila is now a huge city. We're talking about close to 1 million persons, but about 80% of them are IDPs. There are people that already fled the war in the past. So Tawila is now a kind of huge IDP camps. Now, what kind of support is provided in Tawila? That's the question. The shelter is not there for everybody. The newcomer, I'm saying newcomer, people that arrived 4 or 5 months ago still don't have a proper house. They report that they have not received food distribution for several months. They have a very low access to water. We're talking about maybe 1.5 to 2 liters per day per person. The standard in emergency is 15 liters in emergency. It should be more. So we are below every standard that we should have in a refugee camp, in an IDP camp. So it's not only about the fleeing, it's about how they are received once in Tawila. And that's very worrying because the response in terms of humanitarian response there, it's not there. It's not at the level because this crisis is underfunded since the very beginning of the crisis, since the beginning of the war. So no, the organization here do not have the capacity to respond to what we have now and not to respond to what is coming from El Fasher, knowing that in El Fasher the population estimation is about 200, 250 people living inside of El Fasher. Nobody knows for sure. For now, we have received only about 10,000 persons. So the question is also, where are these people? Why can't they flee? Is it that insecure? So at this point, we're extremely worried about the situation inside of El Fasher. We know that there is a long history of killing that are also ethnically based, but also fully indiscriminate. So not seeing this population able to flee is, yes, a source of worry for us.
All right, I'll bring you in, Dr. Siegel, at this point, Senior Research Scholar for International and Security Studies, University of Maryland. Dr. Siegel, there's something that Miriam has said, which, echoes the term forgotten war. She says this is an underfunded crisis. We saw shocking images, video, satellite imagery coming out of El Fasher. Has the international community, in your view, reacted as one would expect when faced with genocide?
Well, clearly, given the level of violence that we've seen and the fact that it continues, the international community has not responded as effectively as it should. And over the past week, of course, as the images out of Al Fasher have arisen, We've seen more international tension than we've had over the course of the whole conflict. Nonetheless, we've been seeing ethnically based killings. We've been seeing indiscriminate violence, massacres, looting, rapes, as Miriam is describing, in other parts of Darfur and other parts of Sudan. And still, there hasn't been the level of international attention and pressure that's needed.
All right. And, why is that in your view?
Well, I think there's several reasons. I think first is there are many other international crises that have been happening simultaneous to the crisis in Sudan. We have what's happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, their situation in Sahel, Somalia, DRC. So it's not threatening broader international security. And so it hasn't received the prioritization that some of these other conflicts have seen.
All right, and we'll get more into that. I'm very curious in terms of there's some who have also described it as a proxy war. So does that have something to do why this war has been allowed to go on for as long as it has? But I'll come back to you, Miriam. What's it like operating in an environment where globally we've seen cuts in aid, donor funding? How has that impacted the work you're able to do and the assistance you're able to give?
Right now, when it comes to Doctor Without Borders, we're really stretching our capacity to a maximum. And that's what we have been doing all over these 2 years. We're really reaching a point where we might not be able to stretch that much. And we needed all these other organizations to be able to scale up their activities in order to support each other. We can work on malnutrition, and we will always do that. But at some point, if food is being distributed, malnutrition will decrease. Talking about the outbreaks, we're just slowly coming out a cholera outbreak. This outbreak was huge. Then, if we have a sanitation inside of the camp, latrines, access to water, etc., this outbreak could have been smaller. Right now, we're facing measles outbreak again. This can be prevented with vaccination. But again, you need resources to implement all that. So Doctor Without Borders will always be there. We want to be in Sudan. We're strong in Sudan, but we need the whole system to better function if we want to support the population.
All right. And, we've seen especially, some shocking images that came out of Al-Fasher was 460, I read, killed in a hospital, a maternity hospital, as I understand it. As people who are giving medical assistance, are you concerned also about drone strikes? What is the situation in Darfur?
Well, there I would like to open the situation. Darfur is one part of Sudan. It's not all of it. All over Sudan, there have been drone strikes, there has been attacks against hospital and health facility. So that's something that really worries us, of course, and we've been calling for the respect of the medical mission since day one in this war. And we keep on calling for that. The medical mission, the humanitarian, but also more generally, the protection of the civilian. And right now, I'm not talking only about Darfur, all over Sudan, this is something that is not happening.
All right, and we've seen a lot of political statements come out of RSF, for instance, saying, they've opened up humanitarian corridors. Is that what is happening?
We're not yet able to access Al-Fasher. This is the reality when it comes to Doctor Without Borders or any other organization, but we know that negotiations are ongoing, and we're hopeful that at some point we'll be able to get there.
All right, Dr. Siegel, who are the international players who are fueling this conflict? Because they must get their arms from somewhere.
No, I think that's a very central point to this conflict, and it's one of the reasons that it has gone along as long as it has, and that it's been as vicious and sustained as it has been. This is now a regional conflict. You do have regional powers that are vying for control of Sudan and its outcome, and the economic largesse that emerges from that. Supporting the RSF, the main actor is the UAE. It has been sponsoring General Dagalo, known as Hemeti, from the beginning of this process, and It's linked to arms supplies from Chad and Libya and Central African Republic, sponsoring the Sudan Armed Forces, namely has been Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Turkey, and Qatar. But from the beginning, it has most of the activity and the support has been behind RSF from the UAE, which is one of the reasons that has had such momentum throughout the conflict from the beginning.
And what are they after? Why are they, interested in Sudan? Is it the gold? Is it to gain control of the port of Sudan?
Well, this is part of a broader strategic set of interests. Many of the Gulf actors have investments in Sudan. There's about $24 billion of investments that are ongoing or pending in Sudan from the Gulf actors. These range from control of the ports to logistics, construction, agricultural land, as well as gold and mining interest. And of that 24 billion, about 90% is actually coming from the UAE. So it has the biggest stakes, and which may explain why it has continued to sponsor the fighting as much as it has in Sudan. It's unclear whether the expectation is that RSF will come out on top, and therefore the UAE will be the prime external beneficiary of the conflict, or if the UAE is willing and supportive of a fragmentation of Sudan, and we actually see a division of the country between the West and the East, similar to what we see in Libya.
So do you expect the nation to fracture between the East and the West?
Well, that is where we're at currently, with RSF controlling large parts of the West and trying to move into Kordofan to a greater degree. Most of the Sudan Armed Force areas of control are in the northeast and in Khartoum. And the worry by many international observers is that these lines become a de facto partition of the country, and that would work against Sudan's sovereignty, Sudan national interest, and citizen interest. I think it's important to keep in mind that while we often talk about this conflict as two parties, two military actors, it's the civilians that are being left out of this. They are the ones who wanted a democratic civilian government back in 2019. They're the ones who peacefully protested. They are not supporting either of these sides, and they're the ones who need to be part of any negotiations moving forward if Sudanese citizen interests are to be considered.
All right, and given the atrocities, the pictures that have come out of Sudan, the testimony that we've heard from Miriam of the rapes, we've read of kidnapping for ransom, do you expect countries such as Kenya to roll out the red flag as we saw in February of this year for RSF, for instance?
I think it becomes increasingly difficult for countries to get behind the RSF. I think that had been the plan orchestrated by RSF and likely with the support of UAE to present Hemeti as de facto head of state, to be clear, UAE is providing significant foreign direct investment into all of the neighboring countries in East Africa, and so there's financial incentives to do so. However, given that Hemeti now has been linked to genocide both in the 2000s and now, his stature as a potential head of state, I think, really has to be off the table. It's just hard to see him being recognized and accepted in any viable international capacity moving forward. And I think that's going to be an important message moving forward.
All right, Miriam, have the last word. What is the message you'd like us to take away tonight?
A call for the protection of civilians, be it in El Fasher, but all over Sudan. An increase, really, of the response capacity of humanitarian actors already now. We're talking about a massive crisis. We're talking about very big numbers, but behind each of these numbers, we have a person, we have a patient who could have.
We've been working with Boost through a fund called Seed Stars Africa, and that capital has been used to finance additional infrastructure. So since we started talking to Boost Africa, we've expanded our service from several areas of Nairobi. We've expanded into Mombasa, we expanded into other cities like Nakuru and Eldoret, and beyond that we're looking at how do we take the service we're offering here in Kenya and take it into other African countries.
Of the app, which was developed by young students. We ran a competition in partnership with ISA, Susan Macau, and came up with a logo that is Citizen Digital today, and that was exciting, you know, sort of not creating a product for ourselves, but having our young audiences guide us in how to lead in this space.
Watch this story and more. Download the Citizen Digital app or visit www.citizendigital.com and find the Citizen Originals portal.
Kenya's #1 app, Citizen Digital.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Nitafutie duka ya TV.
Acha nikuplug bro. Dad, tap on Jumia app, order what you want. Add to cart.
Weka simu ya 15,000. Toa hiyo laptop hapo.
Si la pia add tu kwa wishlist. Ukipata do, tutabai.
Kumbe ni rahisi hivyo.
Ai, ni Jumia bro.
Wewe. Download Jumia app today.
Kupata wimbo huu wa Kashumbiri ama pale kilele, kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza *812 *790 hash. Na kumbuka, sikiza na Citizen ni nyumbani mwa wasanii wote.
Each note is a promise, each step a story. For 2 years, the Great Chepsaita cross-country run has turned strides into stairways of success.
Wamefuka mipaka ambayo hawangeweza kufuka. Tumepata watoto kusoma.
On the 6th of December, the legacy returns. The Great Chepsaita cross-country run, a gold label event on the World Athletics Tour. Register now and run for education.
Hi, baby.
Spill-proof, kill-proof with Gorilla Glass 7i and IP65. Sleek, strong, unstoppable.
When you buy, you build. Your purchase becomes progress. Each choice writes a better story for someone else.
Buy African, build
Africa.
Tired of late rides and shady charges? Itisha Wigo. Now Wigo, you get more than just a ride. Unapata on-time pickups, gari safi na fresh every time. Ride V-Smart, ride V-Safe, now Wigo. Download the app now, ama SMS Wigo to 2045. Wigo, your trusted ride.
For staying with us on Citizen Weekend. And now we take a look at a deceased widow, and DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua has urged leaders, especially the young generation, to fearlessly fight for the rights of Kenyans. Gachagua says the youth should emulate the late J.M. Kariuki, who was assassinated in 1975 for upholding truthfulness. Gachagua was speaking today in the family residence of J.M. Kariuki in Nairobi, where alongside other opposition leaders, they had visited to condole with the family following the demise of Mama Terry Wanjiru, the widow of J.M. Kariuki. She passed away on the 30th of October. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka echoed Gachagua's sentiments, calling for Gen Zs to stand out in the fight for a revolution. Kalonzo, while recognizing the return of Bob Njagi and Nicholas Oyo in the country after more than a month missing following an abduction in Uganda, has urged activists to keep up the spirit and maintain the legacy.
As we prepare to bury Terry Kariuki, we remember with a lot of kindness the very useful contribution that her late husband played in trying to liberate our people and to make sure that they're economically empowered and they have the freedom to do what they want to do. And personally, as DCP leader in my party, I'm mentoring many young leaders. I want to have as many JMs as possible.
Tunahitaji JM Kariuki wengi wajitokeze, na vijana wetu hawa wa GNC wameiga huo mfano wa JM Kariuki.
A section of leaders from the United Opposition have launched a scathing attack on President Ruto's administration for trying to woo the electorate in Malava by launching development projects in the area. They say this is happening during the by-election period. Speaking during a rally at Shipala in Malava constituency in campaigns for the DAPK candidate Seth Panyako, DAPK party leader Eugene Wamalwa and Kakamega Senator Boni Halwale said the people of Malava are entitled to good roads as any other taxpayer in the country, saying it is not a favor. Halwale said he will not be cowed by threats from his party for campaigning for the opposition. They accused the head of state of disrespecting the Luhya community by fielding a UDA candidate in Malava, yet he did not do the same in Kasipul. The duo exuded confidence in winning all the seats in the forthcoming by-elections.
Ninyi muna haki kupata maendeleo, kupata barabara ya Summit kutoka Malava hadi Summit, kupata barabara ya lami kutoka Malava hadi Ekoli. Ni haki yenu. Munatoa ushuru kama Wakenya wengine. Kweli si kweli? Kwa hivyo it's not a favor ya kwamba eti Ruto anakuja hapa miaka 3 hajamaliza barabara hii ya Malava kwenda Summit. Sasa sababu ya kura ya Panyako eti analeta tingatinga saizi, muone tingatinga ndio umpee kura.
Ukienda Ujaluoni huko Kasipul, Ruto hajasimamisha mtu wa UDA huko. Anaunga mkono mtu wa ODM. Na hapa Kabarasi anasimamisha mtu. Kwa sababu hawaheshimu Waluhya. They don't respect us.
Na mimi nataka kuuliza wewe Mheshimiwa Ruto, tulikutafutia kura, ukatanganya sisi na sisi tukatanganya hawa wananchi. Ukasema kwamba utasaidia watu wa chini ukipeleka juu. Ukitoa Linda Mama, unasaidia mama mboga ama unaua mama mboga? Ukitoa Linda Mama, unasaidia bodaboda ama unaua bodaboda? Ukitoa Edu Afya, unasaidia bodaboda ama unaua bodaboda?
Kenyans are set to benefit from a new empowerment initiatives following the launch of the Eliud Owalo Foundation that aims to uplift marginalized communities through youth and women empowerment, education and digital inclusion, community health and climate action. Speaking during the launch, patron Eliud Owalo described the foundation as a, quote, vehicle of hope, empowerment and transformation, pledging to build a self-reliant Kenya driven by digital innovation. The foundation will prioritize youth empowerment, investment in sports and enterprise, and tap into the 75% youth population under 35, while also supporting women's economic inclusion through SACCOs and seed capital. Owalo has urged government, private sector, partners and citizens to join in, turning marginalization into empowerment, powering Kenya's future one woman, one youth, one community at a time.
To this end, good people, a large proportion of the Foundation's interventions have focused on youth empowerment. The Foundation's anticipated interventions on youth empowerment include initiatives aimed at addressing high youth unemployment and underemployment by leveraging sports, skills development, and enterprise support as tools for empowerment.
The foundation we are launching today has thematic pillars that resonate very well with the work of the European Union. And we share the foundation's conviction that ICT is an essential tool in the transformation journey. Ladies and gentlemen, the relatively young, youthful population can be a key transformative element for a major economic takeoff in the energy, creativity, and entrepreneurship space.
Drivers partnering with WeGo are set to benefit from a 90% commission, the highest in the market, in a move aimed at empowering local drivers while promoting road safety. WeGo, a Kenyan mobility company and the official transport partner for the Park and Vibe Season 4 event, also emphasizes responsible drinking by encouraging attendees to use ride-hailing services to and from the venue. The event, held at Kiambu Valley Gardens Kirigiti Shooting Range, brought together youth for a day of music, fun and safety awareness.
So far so good. We are very grateful to our drivers for showing up and offering reliable solutions to our customers, especially during this time where we are partnering with event organizers. We only want the best for our customers, which is safety, and we hope they can trust us as well to get them home safe.
Naam, WeGo pia tunao zile manufaa kwa madereva. Manake commission ambayo tunachukua ni 10% peke yake, kumaanisha dereva anaenda jubani na 90%. So tunawaomba madereva pia waweze kujiunga pamoja nasi na tuweze kuendesha gurudumu pamoja katika sekta ya usafiri.
We are here courtesy of Park and Vibe, which has a good relationship with WeGo, which offer taxi services here. And as a youth speaking, Pombe, Ulevi probably, and we need a designated driver. You need your safe way home. I think WeGo has been the best option for us.
The Jipange na Viusasa caravan has concluded its tour of the western region, with the residents of Shianda, Sabatia, Huisero and Luanda turning up in large numbers to welcome the team, led by Radio Citizen, Molembe FM, Sulu FM and Vuka FM presenters. Viusasa is celebrating 8 years since its launch by rewarding loyal fans across the country. Take a look.
Local artists Emmanuel Musindi and Anko Nico thrilled the crowd with popular Luya beats as they joined fans to mark Viusasa's anniversary in style. Gifts were in plenty, Viusasa fans walking away with various prizes, including cash rewards, with Harrison Ocheng winning 50,000 shillings.
Nasema asante. Na hii pesa itatusaidia.
kwa sababu niko na watoto katika vyuo vikuu, mmoja iko Nairobi University, mmoja iko Kenyatta University.
Subscribers wetu, asanteni sana kwa kujitokeza kwa wingi na asanteni kwa kutushikilia. Miaka 8 si michache kuwa hewani na kuwa na watu wenye wana subscribe kila siku for 8 years. So tunasema asante sana na tunasema muendelee kusubscribe.
Viusasa, other than the promotion, is a platform for content creators. We created that platform so that content creators in Kenya, wale wanajua comedy, wale wanaimba, wakina Musindi, vijana wetu wote wale wako na talanta, unaweka content yako hapo and you make money from it. Kama unajua kudance, kama unajua kufanya any creative activity, that's the whole point of Viusasa.
The 4-day Western tour attracted thousands of fans who subscribed to Viusasa, accessing premium video content and walked away with amazing prizes. The Jipange na Viusasa caravan continues its countrywide tour, celebrating 8 years of Viusasa with fans at the grassroots. Steve Shitera, Citizen TV, Luanda, Vihiga.
Why do 7 out of 10 kids have cavities, sir? Because whatever this toothpaste has for cavity protection, isn't enough. Double Herbal contains clove. My mother says it contains eugenol, which is 100% effective in cavity protection. Where there's clove, there's no cavity.
Get your value pack today.
Life is about building benchmarks to remember. Our steel isn't just about strength. It's about resilience. We're building a legacy. Our mark isn't just in the buildings we build. It's in the lives we impact, the communities we strengthen. And together, we'll leave our mark on this world. MRM, shaping every Kenyan dream since 1962.
In the cancer fight, precision is power. RFH radiotherapy uses advanced techniques like VMAT and IMRT to deliver a focused dose to cancer cells, protecting healthy tissue, reducing side effects, and speeding your recovery. See the target. Treat it with accuracy. RFH radiotherapy. Destroy the disease.
Chris man, hii Christmas itakuwa disco matanga bila wewe.
Hata nyama sitamu.
Ish majamaa. Okay, wacha basi nimtumie. Si tena.
It's all about
And inshallah.
Ukiona maneno, cheza vile unafia.
You think all paracetamol is the same? Panadol Advance, with its unique Optizorb technology, releases medicine 5 times faster than standard paracetamol, making it ready to work in 5 minutes. Try Panadol Advance for fast and effective relief from pain and fever. Fast relief at only 15 shillings per pair.
Royal Mabati Factory Limited has early Christmas discounts. Deca roofing tiles at 500 apiece and steel trusses at $199 per kg. Enjoy free delivery anywhere in Kenya. Call 0722-638383 or order now at www.royalmabati.com.
If you prefer a sweeter taste, opt for honey or a sprinkle of cinnamon instead of refined sugar for a healthier alternative.
Everyone is fueling their greatness. Have you had yours? What's your excuse?
I spy with my little eye that Arsenal is up by 1-1 against Sunderland. For the first time this season, FC Leopards lost their league match following a 2-0 loss at the hands of Mara Sugar. In a match staged at the Mumias Complex ground, Leopards needed to win to go to the summit of the league, but they swallowed a bitter pill in the dying minutes after substitute Dennis Cheriot scored a last-gasp brace for the hosts in the 88th minute and 92nd minute. This was Mara's second league win and Leopards' first defeat after 7 rounds.
First loss of the season. Cheriot! Amesema moja haitoshi.
Record champions Gor Mahia are eyeing maximum points when they take on reigning champions Police FC in a KPL blockbuster match on Sunday at Nyayo Stadium. Fresh from a 1-1 draw against the Lindsay Stars, Gor Mahia head coach Charles Akonor is brimming with confidence, stating their clear objective is a victory after dropping points against the Soldiers. On their side, Police collected maximum points in their midweek clash against Sofapaka. The match is set for 4 p.m.
Couldn't reach his level, but can still figure out to get results. I believe that we have another chance to respond well after a very disappointing 1-1. It's a must win. I believe that we're in a very good chance from what I saw in Police. I'm not underrating them.
Yeah, true. They are a tough side. But equally, we are prepared enough to make sure that we face them and get maximum points in that match. But I know it's not going to be easy. So the players really have to be mentally prepared.
It's that time of the year when golfers across Kenya celebrate their club leaders, and at the Muthaiga Golf Club, all attention is on Lady Captain Daphne Maina, who has been honored in a week-long celebration. The event teed off on Monday with caddies and professional golfers taking to the course, while the main event took place on Friday and Saturday, attracting over 250 golfers each day. The Kenya Ladies Golf Union chairperson, Rosemary Mkok, applauded all lady golfers who turned up. The hosts expressed their gratitude to sponsors, including Shabiki.com being one of the main sponsors.
This is an event that's not just happening here, it's happening countrywide. At this time, this quarter of the year, most lady captains are holding the Lady Captain's Prize. And these are events where we come together to celebrate our lady captains. Lady Captain Muthaiga Golf Club has done an exceptionally great job this year.
We have just concluded our second day competition of the Lady Captain's Prize 2025, and what a delight. It has been such a wonderful event. Today we culminated into the main event of the Lady Captain's Prize, being the Saturday.
We are here at Muthaiga Golf Club, once again, as Shabiki.com. Proud sponsors of the Lady Captain's Prize, here to promote our super jackpot of 100 million shillings at the low cost of 94 shillings. You also stand a chance to win bonus prizes for 13, 14, 15, and 16 correct predictions.
that concludes Citizen Weekend on this Saturday. Our video host, Olive Burrows, our sign language interpreter, has been Belinda Phillips. I hope to see you tomorrow on Sunday Live. Coming up, Diaspora Connects with Neville.
No queues, no heavy bags, no stress. Just shop on citizenduka.com and get everything delivered at your door. We deliver across Nairobi, Kiambu, Thika Road and beyond. Shop now on www.citizenduka.com or on the View Sasa app.
Citizen Duka, the home of discount.
Probably wondering how I got here. This was me. Nimeboeka. Then nikabuy BeLive Time Bundle. My 1 hour kuwa online bila wasi. And my time turned from just kawa ikakuwa lit. Nika go live really nice na TikTok, IG, Snap na nikahang na Memorial. Manzo ukiwa na BeLive, time is on your side. Hadi beats in a slap different. Nikaanza kuzitoka, nika trend online, kushuka match tu hivi. Mafans wakatokea, tukajiachi. Bumping like a crew, express yourself any place una go. Buy the new BeLive Time Bundle. Dial *544#.
Venus unveils confidence that captivates with 5 times more hydration. Venus, inspired by nature, perfected by science.
Haikuwa rahisi kufika hapa, ni nguvu zake. Isingekuwa rahisi kufika hapa, ni mkono wake. Haikuwa rahisi kufika hapa, ni nguvu zake. Isingekuwa rahisi kufika hapa, ni mkono wake. Bila Mungu mimi siwezi.
Hello viewers all over the world, this is Obi Alpha, a gospel artist from East Africa, Tanzania. Kupata wimbo huu kama sikiza tuni yako, dial *811 *343#. Kumbuka, sikiza na Citizen ni nyumbani kwa wasanii wote. You're blessed and have a blessed time.
Tunazitoka kromoka.
Yo Wazimbi, Chrome ina hit miaka kinde, yani 10 years ya kukromoka, na wanadai kuchachisha na millionaires ashu. Unashika Chrome yako, unajua ni time ya kukromoka na kushinda mita moja.
Nani leo tunashangilia?
We're talking over 34 million worth of prizes, 10 millionaires na bado tumeshika gear 5. Wacha ni washow mna kromoka kivipi. Scratch label, tuma code kwa 22110, win prizes daily, weekly, monthly na kustanda chance ya kushinda mita moja. Jishikia boti ya vibe yako. Drip ni PM, ngoma ni FM, gwiji wa content, art ni vibe, mzingwa street. Jishikia boti ya Chrome, scratch label, tuma code kwa 22110. Excessive alcohol consumption is harmful to your health. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18 years. Promotion is licensed by BCLB.
Yeah, it's called pivoting. So they're pivoting to Kenya, which is a good thing. You know, it's when you have your headquarters in New York, it's extremely expensive. Or your headquarters in Switzerland, you know, it's extremely expensive. So Kenya would be, you know, comparatively cheaper. And so they want to try and grow Nairobi to the extent that it is like it can hold an assembly, a UN assembly. And I think for me, that is excellent. One, it means that there'll be more jobs created.
Watch this story and more. Download the Citizen Digital app or visit www.citizendigital.com and find the Citizen Originals portal.
Kenya's #1 app, Citizen Digital.
When you buy, you build. Your purchase becomes progress. Each choice writes a better story for someone else.
Afro-quality. Buy African, build Africa.
Baadaye auntie.
Mkuu, umetufikisha home poa. Asante. Pia wewe pata kakitu ikufikishe home.
Nunua any 280-gram Cadbury Dairy Milk Packs ama Cadbury Drinking Chocolate. Visit Cadbury.Africa or dedicate someone special your heartfelt message ya kumshow thanks. T's and C's apply. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone.
We know times are tough, so save money by buying airtime from M-Pesa to any network with 0 transaction fees. Dial *487*2# and get your airtime PAP with 0 transaction costs.
Welcome to Homelink Mabati Factory, your trusted partner in roofing. We provide high quality and durable products including box profile, V-tile, prime tile and canopy sheets. Enjoy affordable prices, big discounts and 15 years warranty. Call us on 0794 800 000. Homelink Mabati Factory. We promise, we deliver.
If you prefer a sweeter taste, opt for honey or a sprinkle of cinnamon instead of refined sugar for a healthier alternative.
Everyone is fueling their greatness. Have you had yours? What's your excuse?
It's big, bigger than you can imagine. It's massive. It's the biggest jackpot. Shabiki Super Jackpot Sahini 100 million. Yes, predict 17 games na 99 bob na ujishikie 100 million. Bonuses ni from 13th correct prediction. Na ukipata zote wrong, usiwori, bado kuna bonus. Hii ndio jackpot. Shabiki Super Jackpot is now at 100 million. To play, download app ya Shabiki on Play Store or SMS SJP to 29063.
Gaming is addictive. Play responsibly. Not for persons under the age of 18. Shabiki.com is authorized and regulated by BCLB. License number BK 0001080.
If I am not eating this food, then my family will also not eat this food.
Don't let lower back pain hold you hostage. Get the answers you need and finally stand up straight.
Et la chaîne culpabilité, mais faut bien se changer les idées. Pas trop quand même.
Mambo vipi Diaspora Connect family, of course your home plug here, Neville, and leo asemayo kesho ni muongo. We have an amazing show just for you, the most important person here. And of course when we talk about important, let me ask you this: what's the best gift you ever got your teacher? Well, if you're still thinking about that, on the show today we have an amazing guest who did extraordinary things for their teacher. Plus, as you can see, mandhari ni ya kiajabu. Hapa pani tuko Fairview Hotel in the heart of Upper Hill, yani Nairobi. This is a place where you would want to stay, especially our diaspora family. You're planning that homecoming trip, unarudi nyumbani. This and many other places that I'll be letting you know on the show of where you can connect, courtesy of our amazing partners at View Travel. So today throughout the show, ni mapocho, some good things. So you want to stick around because we have a lot for you on the show. And if you're wondering about it, well, take a look.
Leo sapa tunakuladi mpishi, bora tushibe. Mwiko refu tunafungadi mshipi, bora tupike. Kamba ya buta unaweza gongewa, hauna mbota na bado timing unatolewa. Bora mpishi jumpishi, bora shaolewa. Easy but niko easy ganji kitolewa. Baby, we gonna wake a you in the air. I'm easy, touch me there. Sugar now flow, find me there. Hakuna cherry fast, nikisha kanyaga skin. I'm always on time. Hakuna zimefit kwenye nginyoni magrill. Feeling really high. I'm feeling best, shaking, feeling energy nice. I'm really best, shaking, you cannot deny. Feeling really high. Nanza tela umu, la vilisha mapema. Mapenzi yashanidhulumu, maisha haya ya sinema. Kwani tutakula mapenzi tu, swali limenivua heshima. Ipo siku nitafaulu, na roho yangu mimi nitaikinga. Oh, ni salama, salama nawe. Napiga sala na nainama, lazima niname. Mbinguni nafika, yashamwagika na yatazoleka. Siwezi shindwa, so ni salama, salama nawe, salama. Yawa, ango mitara, era ulokorea jaya. Abebi na sina ubaya, elboda mugika poke simo jaya. Ango mitara, era ulokorea jaya. Abebi na sina ubaya, elboda mugika poke simo jaya. Extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy. Extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy. I had to put my life on pause and follow you where you're going. And if I make you my business, I suffer no loss. Cause I'm in love and it's showing. No force, can't separate. Baby, no law, keep me away. I take you on tour. Pretty baby, I give you something to live for. My girl, extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy. Extra pressure, baby, when you wind and pause. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy, of course. You're killing the boy. Mara niko wash na washa do. Wacha ku spread hizo rumors. Ati gari yangu ni alone. Mara nimewekwa na sponyo. Wacha ku spread hizo rumors. Dada masi. Don't spread, don't spread, don't spread. Don't spread, don't spread, don't spread. Don't spread, don't spread, don't spread. Don't spread, don't spread.
Hey, just like like that, Diaspora Connect tumewasili, and it's another Saturday to connect with all our loved ones from across the world. Mambo VP Diaspora Connect fam, such a delight anytime I have you on board, manze, and thank you very much for making this date with us. My name is Neville, your home plug. Na wacha nikwambie, all our loved ones are ready on the other side, plus sumona ile mandhari pale ilikuwa. Our amazing partners at View Travel will making sure yani sisi aka Diaspora Farm, when it comes to picking the right spots to holiday with a companion that makes it easy, View Travel is the one. But more on that as the show rolls on. Talking about the show, you know, for a few weeks now, I've been privileged to have such amazing guest co-hosts. And tonight is a night like none other, but they're capable, able, and of course, she is my partner when it comes to the media industry stage. She's killing it online and also on ground. So, Diaspora family, one time, two time, help me welcome the amazing Nyawanga. Hey, how are you? Finally, you arrived.
Hi, please. I wasn't late.
Best.
Thank you.
You're looking all good, Karibu. This is our Diaspora Connect family. I'm sure they're also excited to have you. But for those who've been living under a rock and they don't know about you, please, this is your time.
Must say, I am a young girl that tries my best. I'm God's firstborn daughter. I am a fourth-year law student.
Okay.
I'm almost done, guys. Not easy. I'm a fourth-year law student. I am a creative. I don't like to use the word influencer easily because I'm not sure what that is, but I talk and people listen.
And people listen.
I thank God.
Put out a product, guys are always queuing
you know,
up.
But in my current career life, I do digital, I do PR, and I do legal with Soul Generation. So specifically this year, I'm tackling Soul Fest.
Which is about to come through in a few weeks, so that's a good thing that we have you here.
Yeah?
Uko na tiketi yangu? You never know. And I love the fact that you're on the show, lots of vibes to get through on the show, but also guys want to connect with you. So give guys your social media handles.
Oh, my handles are the same on every platform. So you see Nyawanga, the first A is an X.
Yes.
So NYX, Wanga. And I'm very happy, I'm very blessed, and I'm very, very excited to be part of Diaspora Connect today.
Nice. And today we have a lot coming up on the show, yes?
Tuone.
Yeah?
Nisho.
Tuone.
Nisho.
Sindio, these are our highlights. On Diaspora Connect tonight, we have Frida Onyango, a Kenyan teacher currently in Germany pursuing a master's degree in public policy at the University of Erfurt. Willy Brandt, School of Public Policy. We also have Bob Mwiti, currently living in Tampa, Florida, a managing director and CEO of International Scholars Program. We also have Nyawanga, our able co-host, a social activist, a creative and content manager, and also a law student and currently in digital PR and communication, leading on Soulfest as part of Soul Generation. We also have an American-born Kenyan, Calvin Waiguru, aka C-Dubs, currently in Jacksonville, Florida, making stress-relieving tunes as he plans to inspire listeners through his music. And just like that, lots of happiness and a good time right here on Diaspora Connect. So make sure you continue connecting with us at Citizen TV Kenya. That's how you get to us on XUp. Alafu pia, hashtag ni ile Diaspora Connect. Also, Instagram family, apana ogopa, slide through the DMs at Diaspora Connect KE. Still, manze, lots to get through on the show. You know how we do. Sindio hapa na pale. But also on the show, not myself and Nyawanga here, there's also DJ Mish.
Hey, what's up, guys? Fiti kabisa. It's been... I'm so happy to be back. Nasikia waliniulizia sana.
Of course, manze. Repeat again and again. Remind guys where they can follow you on social media. Pali wasi wanaweza connect nayo.
Kama kawaida, all platforms at DJ Mish the Queen, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. By then kuna mixes kali. Wanafaa check out.
Check out.
I love subscribe. DJs. Love it.
I love some female DJs.
Love it.
I like that. So, as we proceed to give you what you need, our first guest is on the other side. And when it comes to our first guest, huyu guest wetu wa leo, he's one of those ones who was knocked down so many times, but still got up. Unajua, being denied sometimes is not just being refused at all. Sometimes you can be denied the first time, but coming the second time or the third time or the fourth time or the fifth time.
Have you heard of the burnt toast theory?
No, tell me about it.
It's basically this idea that when you burn your toast in the morning, it's an inconvenience that will waste 5 minutes of your day. But if you had left your house 5 minutes earlier, ungegonga maybe nagari. So burning your toast, it's an inconvenience. You're like, this has ruined my day.
It saved you
but
from
it saved you from something else.
I like that, the burnt toast theory. You see, you learn something new every day. Plus, talking about yourself, let me know, when you're traveling, when you're planning out that trip, you have your tickets, you have your dates, and it's only left to pack. What are 3 essential things that can never miss in your bag?
Okay, 3.
3 only. Okay, I would have told you 5, but 2.
3, okay. My 2 passports.
Oh,
my 2,
okay.
and when I say
passports.
2, the 2 different countries, right? So you never know what's going to happen. Like, the world is a crazy place. Uneza daivatiwa.
Neza ambiwa, hey, come through.
Both passports.
What else?
A toilet bag very close to me. So a toilet bag with all my, like, you guys, I take smelling nice very seriously.
Okay,
so
personality, smelling nice is a personality.
Toilet essentials, my passports, and a very heavy hoodie that I can use as a pillow if needs be.
Just in case, so that you don't have to...
You know, weather unpredictable, yes.
I like that, I like that. Those are essential things. Also, you at home can share with us. You've gone on a trip before, or you're planning a trip. Yes, for sure. Let us know. Use that hashtag Diaspora Connect. 3 essential things. Also, slide through our DMs at Diaspora Connect KE. That's how you get to us. 3 essential things ambazo haziwezi kosa kwa bagi yako as you're traveling. Sindio, talking about traveling, this is about that time we go and hear an amazing Kenyan story by an amazing Kenyan. And this Kenyan right here, as I was telling you before, he was denied opportunity, aka he was denied a visa going to America. Not once, not twice, not thrice.
Now, what happened?
Hey!
What happened sana?
Ilikuwa yani zimejipanga and then that is not the only thing this our champion went through. Okay. He also, as you're a Kenyan, you also have to jifanya you're a big dog in another country. So
because you are?
Yeah, you usually are, but then the country can humble you like the way it did our guy. You know, he went and bought something there and it really didn't work out the right way. But let's bring him through, man like Bob. Niaje, uko poa lakini? Bob, unanisikia lakini uko fresh?
Yes, nakusikia habari.
Niko poa manze. Unasikia manze na unfold or I'm airing some of the linen in public hapa kwenye Citizen TV.
He's telling a story that's not yours. It's not yours.
Hey, Bob, ebu confirm or deny? Because as I was reading up on you, I was like, hey, kudinaiwa visa all these times. Alafu tena ukishafika huko tena. No, please, give us the story. Kwanza tuanzie hapo kwa visa.
Okay, asante sana. Thank you so much for having me on the show. My name is Bob and I live and work here in the US. Niko mahali naitwa Tampa, Florida, here in the US. So my journey to come to the US actually took so long. As you said, I was denied visa so many times. So initially I wanted to go to the UK actually. And then I got denied the visa the first time, the second time, the third time. And then the 4th time, then at that point, I decided, you know what, I think I need to try the US and ended up going to try to come to the US for my master's. And that's how I found myself here in 2009. And I came as a student. Then I got here, I went through school. And after I was done with school, I got an opportunity to work here and I got a job as a systems analyst. I used to work with Fortune 500 companies and I found myself in Florida and that's where I live. So I've been living here for the last 16 years.
Wow, quite a feat right there. And I love the fact that you're open and, you know, about this story because sababu wengine wetu tumedinaiwa but tumejiwekea.
Be an embarrassing thing, though. It's something that should be addressed. Oh. Why is it so difficult to move?
Clearly, denial, the way you're taught as you're growing up is like such a bad thing, so you never really want to share it. So I'm glad Bob is open, about it, to tell us about it. So 16 years in this country, how has it been so far? If you were to say it in a nutshell, how has it been thus far?
So far so good. I can't really complain. I think that's the reason why I'm still here. But we are growing old, so within no time, I think I should be coming back. Hopefully, maybe by around, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe by 2030, I'll be coming back. But so far so good. So that's pretty. I mean, living here, of course, it comes with a lot of challenges here and there, but there's a lot of opportunities, of course, being abroad. You get to see how people work differently from back home. You get to learn a lot of new things. So I think I've learned a lot, and I try as much as possible also to share whatever I've learned here back home, and also try also to see whether also I can be able to help others who are back home to come and see the opportunities that are on this side.
When you talk about moving so far away from home, especially in your adult life, one thing that's very important to me is community, being around people that relate with me, understand my struggle, and we share similar stories. Was it difficult to form community in such an alien place where people don't understand your language, the way you think, the way you do things?
Yeah, actually, initially when you come to a country, when you go abroad, and especially if you go to a country where they communicate maybe not in English, it can be a bit of a challenge. And even a country like the US, for example, it's still a challenge sometimes when you are here. For example, when I got here, I came to school, like I said earlier, and I used to be very homesick. I would call my friends all the time, because everything is new to you. And the school that I was in, there was not very many Kenyans. We are quite, maybe I think we were like 2 or 3 Kenyans in my school. So I didn't have that big community of Kenyans, and it can be a bit, it can be very lonely to some extent. But with time, you get used to it, and you just realize that this is gonna be your home for a very long time, and you start learning things here and there, and you get used to it. So yeah, so initially it was not that easy, but we got used to it.
What were some of the moments that you remember from moments that shocked you? Because we've heard stories here on Diaspora Connect where unatoka Kenya, you've left things one way and then unafika maju, maybe the food, maybe the mode of transport, maybe how people leisure around is a bit different than the way we do things back home. So what were some of those culture shock moments that you had that you were just like, wow, please, nirudisheni kwetu right now?
Tell me who.
Okay, well, food is always a big thing, because especially here in America, the food is quite different from what we have. But also surprisingly, if you are coming to school, and maybe you are staying in school, of course, that can be a challenge because you are mostly eating American food. But actually something surprising is that there's a lot of our food here. Once maybe if you're out of school and you start living out there, maybe on your own, you get to know, like, unaweza hata pata matumbo, hata unaweza pika supu ya kichwa ya mbuzi. Unaweza pika hata ugali,
I definitely
so I was surprised, that was a pleasant surprise that you can actually be able to find some of the food. Because when I go home, mostly people ask me, like, you don't miss ugali, you don't miss matumbo. Mi napendanga matumbo sana, you don't miss avocado and things like that. I'm like, no. Some of these things we can be able to get them, Yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise. But apart from that, if you come to a place that is quite cold, that can really surprise you because it gets really, really cold. So for me, where I am right now, I'm in Tampa, Florida, and this is more or less like the Mombasa of America. So it's very hot, so there's no snow here, there's no cold, But where I went to school in a state called Pennsylvania, which can be very cold, especially around this time when it's going to winter. So that can be a big surprise for you if you're not really used to the cold. But apart from that, it's just the way things are quite different. You know, vitu zimepangwa huku vizuri sana. You know, the roads are clean. You know, hakuna watu all over the place, you know, because saa zingine nyumbani unakuta boda everywhere, but here things are a bit well organized.
Yeah,
that's something that is always very different from home.
True, I can tell from all the movies, you know, that things are organized than the way they are back home.
But kukosa boda ni crazy.
Naitwa baridi juu ya baridi. Alafu, hebu nikuulize hivi Bob kindly. On your social media, you talked about tracking. Nataka tuingililie hapo. There's a story that you put out on your social about a certain track. Unajua, as I was telling you, unajua ukienda majusa zingine, unajua, you feel yourself. And you're like, wacha ni try out something new. Tell us about this amazing track, or is it not so amazing?
Oh, that tracking story. Okay. I didn't actually even read that story. So, yeah, I'm a businessman, and I've been doing business for the last 8 years. But when I started, before I started what I'm doing currently, actually I started something that really feels terribly. I started a tracking business, and I lost quite a lot of money. Like I put on my post on social media, I had bought this truck for about $40,000. I don't know how much that is. I think it's about 6 million. It was a used truck. I thought I would become a truck millionaire in the trucking business. But actually it didn't last long. So I started the business, got a driver, then the truck, got issues here and there, then got the driver stopped working for me immediately. Then I got another driver, then they went ahead and got an accident within a few weeks, then got another driver. So it was a crazy ride for very few months, and I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna be in this business. So I ended up actually trying to sell the truck. I couldn't sell it because I got into an accident and it was not repaired very well. So I just ended up actually, abandoning it somewhere in a yard. And that's how I lost my $50,000, including all the expenses that I incurred. So that was the tracking story.
Hey!
Starting a business.
Ati umesema how many dollars? How many dollars? Hey!
Around the truck itself was about $40,000, and then after a few expenses here and there of trying to fix the truck and all that, I lost about $50,000.
Sitaki hata kufanya calculation.
Not small money. But you recovered. The point is you recovered. You made amends. You're doing better now. Maybe you can give us a bit of context as to what you are doing now.
Yeah, so I left that business immediately after a few months, and I started something that actually has grown quite well. Currently, I run a program called International Scholars Program. And basically what we do is we support bright talent to study, live, and work here in the US. So we've been doing this for the last 7 years. We started since 2018. We have quite a huge community that has been able to come here in America through the program. Mostly we've been supporting master's students to come here. And basically when I say supporting, basically I mean we've been financing them because studying here can be very, very expensive. For example, if you're coming here for a master's program, it can cost you at least maybe $40,000, $50,000 for